Hey, everybody. You're about to hear a brief retelling of the movie Paradise. Enjoy watching. Aeon is a biotech firm based in Germany that will soon provide a medical treatment that allows a person to take time out of their life and transfer it to another person's body, as long as the two are compatible. People in financial need may now sell as many years of their life as they desire, thanks to this technology, which causes their bodies to age more quickly. Conversely, the one who purchases time has their youth returned, meaning that wealthy individuals are essentially eternal. Even though Aeon consistently positions it as a choice and a donation, selling one's time is typically only accepted by the impoverished who are in a desperate attempt to improve their living circumstances. The only means of subsistence for the large number of migrants and asylum seekers in this future is through this. Over time, the firm has honored academics, artists, and celebrities. Most recently, Nobel laureates have been added to the roster. Max is Aeon's greatest contribution coordinator. He travels about persuading people to sell their age. He's chatting with the adolescent son of a migrant family today, telling him how much it would help him to sell 15 years of his life. In an attempt to persuade him, Max describes how he traded 5 years of his life to pay for college. He also emphasizes that although there is little possibility that his family would ever have the necessary legal documents to live in harmony, the money may help them start a company. Max seals the deal with all of this trickery. Max dons a raincoat as he gets back to the corporate office to deal with the demonstrators outside who hurl objects at each worker that walks by. Because Aeon's technology is widening social and economic divides in society, many individuals are opposed to it. After entering, Max participates in a special event where he is recognized as the year's top agent and is given an award. After that, Sophie Thyssen, the company's founder, gives a lengthy speech emphasizing the value of their job. Patients are enjoying a peaceful day at one of Aeon's clinics when all of a sudden, a man posing as an employee takes out a pistol, murders everyone in the room, spray paints the letter A on the wall, and flees. He is a member of the Atom Group, a group designed to be antagonistic to Aeon. In the pretext of preserving society, they utilize terrorist acts to shut down the business and murder individuals. Later, Sophie is viewing a video delivered by Atom's boss Lilith with her guards Kaya and Nowak. In it, Lilith promises more mayhem is on the way. After arriving home, Max gets ready to celebrate his achievement with his wife Elena by preparing a wonderful supper. Their goal is to have children, so even though they haven't paid for the apartment yet, they wind up doing a little naughty before they eat. The pair visits Elena's parents the next day. Her father makes jokes about perhaps buying himself a few more years, but it's obvious that he's acting in a passive-aggressive manner and disliking Max's work because he thinks it's unethical. Elena steps in before things become heated, but on the way home, Max wishes she would stand up for him instead of being obnoxiously impartial. The couple is horrified to learn that their flat is on fire when they return to their building. Because it occurred at home, they lost all of their money in addition to all of their possessions. They find out when they visit the insurance company that they won't pay for this occurrence since, according to sources, a candle caused the fire, which is considered carelessness. Elena adamantly maintains that she always extinguishes all candles before leaving the premises, but they are unable to change the official record. To exacerbate the situation, Max finds out that Elena concealed from him the fact that she had pledged 40 years of her life as security in exchange for the bank loan. Max wants to donate his own years in lieu of the others, but he is rejected since the beneficiaries aren't a good fit for him. Max finds this perplexing because he has previously given, but it appears the beneficiaries passed away lately. To stop Elena from leaving the country, the police arrest her as they leave the insurance firm. Max visits Sophie to explain his predicament and gets her to pledge she'll see what she can do. Max then promises he'll find a method to pay the bank. The company's shareholders, who are fed up with squandering money on incompatible DNA testing since it means some individuals would never get to purchase a few more years, and because genetic dispositions are extremely uncommon, meet with Sophie afterward. Sophie is labeled as too biased. A few days later, Max receives a call from his lawyer informing him that Sophie has not responded to any of their messages. Max has no option but to see Elena in the clinic, but they inform him he must wait until the treatment is over. Max loses it and rushes into the other rooms in an attempt to get to his wife, but Kaya and her group tackle him. Elena is getting ready for the procedure in the interim. She eventually loses it when she hears a lawyer read the document and starts to fight the physicians. However, she gets an injection that puts her to sleep, and after that, she's hooked up to a machine that transfers 38 years to a person whose face is disguised in another room. Elena is silent as Max drives her home after that. Elena's body ages rapidly over the next few days, to the point that she resembles an old woman and finds it difficult to look in the mirror. Although Max attempts to console and support Elena, their connection turns very sour and uncomfortable, and Elena distances herself from Max. When Max gets a call from the employer one morning, he finds out that he has been promoted and granted a pay raise, but that the raise is now meaningless. In a fit of rage, Max rushes to approach Sophie in an attempt to have a conversation, but Kaya stops him. Though Max notes Sophie is beginning to seem younger, Sophie ignores him and gets into her car. Later, at home, Max shows Elena attention and declares his love for her, but Elena interprets this as pity and begs him to leave her alone. Elena feels an odd sensation in her abdomen when Max leaves, so she runs to the bathtub and starts bleeding. Max is contacted by a female selling illicit uppers when he is out for a walk and a beer in the park. Max chastises her right away. Elena is admitted to the hospital a few hours later due to discomfort. While keeping her company, Max discovers with dismay that Elena was pregnant before to the treatment and that the blood that occurred today was a miscarriage since this ancient body is incapable of bearing children. Elena forces Max to accompany her to her parents' home, where she will reside going forward because she is sick of the uncomfortable existence they are leading. Heartbroken, Max swears he will figure out a way to undo the surgery, but Elena's father chastises him, telling him this is the system he helped design. In a desperate attempt to discover a solution, Max tracks down the girl in the park and confronts her, demanding answers despite the fact that he knows the girl had her treatment illegally since Aeon would never have children. Max contacts the special contact the girl offers him later, and he finds out about a clandestine gang that has been operating on people who have lost their age transplants in Lithuania, a nearby nation. He is instructed to go to a sketchy area and pick up a burner phone and phony passports. He is also advised that he must contact the receiver who has been provided Elena's time. Max is certain that Sophie's aging and her refusal to assist him are not coincidences, so he hides in a hotel and intends to abduct her. He follows Sophie around for the following several days, and one afternoon he finally gets his opportunity when he spots her by herself in a graveyard without any security nearby. He covers his face and walks up to the younger-looking Sophie, who starts screaming for assistance and to escape. Quickly catching up, Max chases her until she passes out, then he paints an A on a grave to give the impression that the Atom Gang was responsible. Later, Max asks Elena to trust him when he picks her up from her job. They head over to the abandoned building together, where he sets Sophie restrained in an illegal vehicle. Elena finds this absurd, and they get into a fight. Max tells her that this is their one opportunity to start again and have a family, which persuades her to accompany him. Kaya and Nowak examine the events at the cemetery, and Nowak tracks down the automobile Max used using security camera video. They will now be searching for Max even though everything was purchased using a fictitious account. Nowak tracks every transaction until he connects the initial one to Max's actual account. Kaya declines to talk to Nowak about calling the police. The pair has left by the time they arrive at the deserted building. Kaya and Nowak plan a fresh operation to apprehend Elena and Max when they head to the harbor, this time with the assistance of the police. Nowak describes how they got together. Although Max was tasked with managing Elena's donations, the two fell in love and were married throughout the selling process. Nowak acknowledges that he feels sorry for those in need, but Kaya corrects him by stating that she is, in fact, 64 years old. She owes Sophie a great deal, so even though she dislikes changing her body in this way, she does it for the job. Max and Elena successfully board a ship in the harbor, but Nowak finds out where they are because they are captured on surveillance video. Max takes food and beverages to Sophie and checks on her every few hours. She is being held as cargo inside a box that has a bathtub in it. The pair watches a contented family in the evening and looks forward to having their own child in the future. When a youngster recalls some strange lights along the sea, Max and Elena emerge to find Lithuanian police are waiting for them. Max makes the quick decision to take advantage of the family. Max's van emerges as the police start going through each vehicle that leaves the ship, but the family father is the driver, a man Max threatens to kill. He poses as a delivery worker carrying a bathtub, but his uneasy demeanor makes the police suspicious. They ask to see Sophie and Elena's hiding place, inside the bathtub, in the rear of the vehicle. The man is asked to open the box completely by the police after they inspect it. When he hesitates, they question him about his anxiety. Max informs the man, over a Bluetooth earphone attached to his phone, that he's terrified since he's never been held at gunpoint before. The operations leader lets the driver leave when he observes that his officer is not using his weapon properly in order to avoid drawing attention to his misbehavior. Then the wife shows up in her car with the child in tow, and Max is hiding in the back with the child under duress. As they don't notice anything wrong with her, the police let her go. Later, both cars pull up to the road, and the family gets back together. But before they can go, Max shoots one of their car's tires and breaks their phones. Elena feels bad when she sees the baby cry. Sophie is still tied in the bathtub when the pair departs in the van. A few hours later, they pull over in the middle of the road so Sophie may empty her urinal. Since she can now speak, Sophie reveals that she is actually her daughter Marie and that they are only similar in appearance since her mother had the treatment. Max doesn't think she's telling the truth, so he looks it up online and finds that Sophie only had one daughter, who passed away a long time ago and whose grave she was visiting at the cemetery. Marie argues that she was kept out of the spotlight specifically to avoid media attention, but Max doesn't buy it and drags her back to the bathtub. Elena is beginning to have second thoughts, though. When they eventually come to an abandoned hotel, they choose to stay the night there. Marie is permitted to leave the house, but she adamantly maintains that she is not Sophie, claiming to be on the couple's side and detesting her mother's profession for being immoral. Elena starts to argue with Max, who still doesn't believe her, and he makes the argument that since Marie and Elena share the same DNA, even if the narrative is accurate, Marie should still match Elena. Max's desire to use a kid horrifies Elena, who exits the room in shock. Max shows Marie to the restroom when she requests to take a shower. When Max turns around to allow Marie to shift, she seizes the opportunity to strike him and flee while Marie reveals that Sophie had created the age transplant technique while attempting to heal her sister. Marie bolts for the woods right away, where the phone she took is unusable and it is dark. She rushes up when she sees a light close, indicating that she is being pursued, only to discover as she is about to cross what she had believed to be a large puddle that it is actually a deep pit into which she is sinking. Marie can only scream for assistance as she attempts to cling to a fallen tree, but fortunately Elena appears in the light and helps her escape right away. When the women go back to the hotel, Marie may at last take a shower. Elena realizes that she is actually Marie when she takes off her clothing since she is scar-free after the surgery. Elena informs Max of this, but he clarifies that it's likely that the skin recovered throughout the process and reminds Elena that he's doing this to conceive. He gives Elena a kiss and tells her that she deserves more. After that, they start acting sexy and Marie, who is tied up, can hear them from the tub. As this is going on, Nowak alerts Kaya of the couple's whereabouts, and they prepare to pursue them. A few hours later, a few men brandishing firearms startle Elena and Max into wakefulness. Max's pistol is taken away by the Atom Group prior to Lilith making her identity known. After confirming that the girl is Marie and not Sophie, she leads the group of three to an abandoned structure where she spills the beans. Sophie had been searching for an age donor for herself and had found Elena. Because Max was the company's greatest contribution manager, they sent him. However, rather than pressuring Elena to give, Max and Elena fell in love and were married. In order to stop Max from sacrificing some of his years, Sophie purposefully set fire to their flat when she required the gift. Elena is handed a pistol with a single bullet by Lilith after Max accuses her of being a killer. Lilith orders Elena to kill Marie or end things herself. Lilith points out that everyone is pacifist when forced to kill their own life, but they have no issue enabling physicians to do the same on their behalf. Elena doesn't dare to do either and lowers the pistol. The illegal clinic's location is now sent to Max's burner phone, and it will stay active for 6 hours. The pair will have to assist Lilith in killing Sophie if they want to avoid missing the appointment. Max emerges as Kaya and her squad circle the building, acting as though Adam isn't among them. He informs the group that Marie will be shot by Elena if anybody tries to enter the building other than Sophie. When a youthful-appearing Sophie arrives and agrees to the requirements, Kaya questions how Max knew Sophie was with them before Sophie can go inside. As soon as Sophie understands this is a trap, Nowak pulls out his revolver and shoots her, knocking her unconscious. Nowak is instantly killed by Kaya, and the Atom Group begins fire on Sophie's crew from inside the building. As Max dashes back into the hotel, he is startled by an explosion close to him. He was caught by a rebel after eluding many guards, but he knocks him unconscious with a few blows back and forth. Max then seizes Elena and Marie and pulls them to the garage in order for them to flee. Max is attempting to start the car when Marie shows she has a pistol and is attempting to shoot Elena, but it is empty. After Marie declined to shoot her, Elena is upset that she would kill her. So, she grabs Marie and slams her head against the car until she passes out. After that, the three of them flee in the car, and Kaya looks through Nowak's phone to find that he has been in communication with the rebels because he has always been a member of the Atom Group. After a few hours, Max admits he doesn't want to take any action against Marie because he doesn't want to end up like Lilith. But Elena has had enough and, threatening to finish things herself, throws Max out of the car. After Max leaves, Elena drives all the way to the unlicensed clinic, where the surgery is carried out and Marie is pulled against her will. As Max is exploring in the meantime, he spots a bus carrying immigrants and decides to board it in order to enter a camp for refugees. A truck driver finds Marie strolling down the road the next morning and brings her back to the city. She soon finds herself back with Sophie, who is still alive as she was wearing a bulletproof vest. Kaya then declares that she is quitting since she is fed up with killing people for profit. In the days that follow, Marie begins to mature quickly, but a self-centered Sophie declines to give her own daughter any of her years, vowing to locate a donor as soon as possible. At the beach, Max discovers Elena after several months. She appears youthful and expectant, and her new spouse is there to look after her. She makes no attempt to engage Max when she sees him, and he returns to his new life as a rebel with the Atom Group, driven to overthrow Sophie.